Hi, Facebook. Okay, so today's live stream is 5 things that are stopping you from trusting that little voice inside your head, also known as our intuition. So, 5 things that are all stopping you from also hearing it, listening to it, and trusting it. So, let's dive in on Instagram. Over on Facebook, we have the slides. The replay with the slides will be up there in case you want to check them out, take notes, or anything like that. All right, let's jump in. Okay, so in this live stream, you are going to learn 5 things that are stopping you from hearing, listening, and trusting your intuition, and 5 things you can do to start connecting with it. Not everything we experience can be explained by logic. So that's what this is all about, guys. This is about right now, it's really crucial that we all tap in to our intuitive knowledge, that we kind of shut out all of the outside noise and start learning what it is we are thinking, what it is, that where can we find truth, right? And of course, that is going to be found within ourselves. Okay, so if you're new here, my name is Ashley Lizzie, and I have helped many women in the last 7 months create their dream life from learning how to listen, trust, and use their own inner guidance system to create their dreams, their goals, their desires, because we truly harness the answers to everything within inside of us. So, what is that little voice? And I say little voice because that's what most people who are maybe kind of just getting to know about what's going on, just maybe tapping into hearing something else going on inside of them. So little voice is kind of what most people are more familiar with. So that little voice is our intuition, and it's the ability to know something without analytic reasoning. Okay. And it's our own personal GPS that guides us to everything we want in life. When we listen to it, it opens up possibilities, opportunities, that are endless. And whenever we are we are tapped in, tuned in, turned on to it, this is when miracles happen. It's also that gut feeling that gets loud when we don't listen to it. Okay, I'm sure we've all had that experience of like, oh, I don't feel like something's right about this. A lot of times that's our intuition. And then if we find out, it ends up that, say you were right, and then you might feel like, oh crap, and it's also our own personal superpower. Okay, this is misguided in so many ways because what happens when we take our own power back? What happens when we show up for ourselves instead of listening to the world around us, right? So you may be feeling like you're tired of overthinking everything and still feeling unsure about making the right choice. You actually have recognized that little voice inside your head, but you are afraid to listen to it because it seems illogical or not practical. You find yourself unsatisfied with your decisions and choices after you make them. And you actually judge yourself for your feelings and thoughts that are different than the logical choice. And you find yourself constantly looking outside of yourself for confirmation and validation. So before tuning into that little voice inside of my head, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. I was made fun of for going against the seemingly logical way of doing things. I am naturally attracted to doing what is not popular. Okay. I would rely on others' opinions to help me make decisions. I wouldn't be able to decide what I wanted for dinner without having a second opinion. I often felt regret after making decisions. I was not invested in what I was deciding in because I was just so wishy-washy on everything. And I felt like I didn't know what to believe and who to trust. I wasted a lot of time and made many mistakes by going against that little voice. I can't tell you how many wake-up calls I've had because I didn't listen to it. Okay. It gets louder and louder. So a lot of times when we are so conditioned to not look inward for answers, it can feel scary trusting a voice that no one else can hear. Oftentimes, the biggest challenge is tuning out all of the outside noise telling you what to be, do, think, and have. And when we only listen to everyone else, we often end up in positions feeling upset, unfulfilled, and regretful. So 5 things that stop us from hearing, listening, and trusting our intuition. Number 1, we have been conditioned to outsource our voice to an outside authority. We don't trust ourselves and we feel disconnected. I'm sure a lot of you can figure out many situations where this has happened. We outsource our health, we outsource our education, we outsource, all the things, just even if it's just like making simple decisions, we outsource them to a different power. And of course, in some situations, this is necessary. However, we have been largely misled to believe, that we can't trust ourselves at all on any level. Okay. And we always need someone else's validation or someone else to make decisions for us. Okay. And this is when things get dangerous. Okay. Whenever we give that much, whenever we're giving that much of our power away. Okay. We're misled by trauma, anxiety, or depression. So whenever we are filled with trauma, anxiety, and depression, it's hard to hear our inner voice because we are hearing things from our ego. We're hearing things of fear, of sadness, of the worst case scenario. All of those feelings are coming up and showing up for us. And that masks our intuition, okay? Because we are in such lower vibrations, and our highest self, our intuition, comes from a very high vibration. So in order to tune into it, we have to raise our vibration. The third thing would be our rational mind is too strong. Okay, so again, people have conditioned people to be just so rational because nothing else can make sense, right? If it's not on paper, if it's not like written in stone, right? It's irrational in a lot of cases. So people, going against that, is how you find your intuition, and when our rational mind is so strong, it often just negates any little bit of insight that our intuition might be giving us. The fourth thing is our ego is in the way. So whenever our ego is in the way, again, our ego is there to protect us. However, it is way overreached right now in most people's minds because, just of social conditioning and stuff. So when our ego gets in the way, it wants to stop us from doing anything and taking any chances in life. It thinks everything's a threat. Our ego is there for, for us to stop us whenever we walk out on the street and the car is about to hit us. It's not to stop us from, going after our dreams and our goals. And the fifth thing would be we are overloaded with toxins. So toxins tend to mask our intuition because, again, it keeps our body in that lower vibration. So I'm talking about toxins on food, toxins in, your personal care products, toxins in the air, toxins, in your home. Sometimes our home is the most toxic place that we live in. And, greening that up can help you out a lot. Eating clean can help you out a lot. Getting rid of all of the chemicals, the unnecessary chemicals. And this takes time, guys. But being aware of it and trying to, cut back in one area at a time can make a drastic difference and start to open up, your mind, because a lot of times those chemicals, they go into our brain and they affect us. I know for me, one of the things that is really, really, really masking, your pineal gland and all that stuff, if you're into chakras and whatnot, is fluoride. So we're fluoride free in this house. So think about that and just think about little things that you can do. Just again, one step at a time to kind of detox yourself. Here are 5 things we can do to start developing a strong relationship with our intuition. Number 1 would be tap into our creativity. Our intuition thrives on creativity. So even if you are in those low vibrations, this is a really helpful way to get out of them. So if you are feeling anxious, depressed, sad, all the things, and, maybe you are going through a lot of trauma, maybe you can, just whatever is creative to you. So if that might look like drawing, that might look like painting, that might look like building things, whatever it looks like to you, tap into that. And if you are honestly unsure, go back to what you did when you were a kid. What were you creative about when you were a kid? For me, I was very artistic. I still am. I would do all the things. Okay. I would paint, I would draw, Drawing houses was like my favorite thing to do because it represented stability. And I didn't have that in my life growing up. So that was a really creative outlet for me. I was also a writer, I still am. So whatever, and maybe those are similar things for you. Tap into that creativity. It's going to start to open up avenues for you and get the other side of your brain flowing. Whenever that happens, again, we raise our body's frequency and we're more able to hear what our intuition is telling us. The second thing is be still or meditate. Okay, so a lot of people are fearful of meditation, and I'm going to do a separate video on that because there's no need to be fearful of it. For me, I started out with doing 3 minutes at a time. The point here is to be still, okay, and to just allow, take away all electronic devices, all the things, and, just be still, whether it be for 10, 15 minutes a day, and just allow your mind to disengage. Okay, whenever you disengage from all of the outside, sources, you are able to hear things. And sometimes it doesn't even happen while you're calm and while you're being still, it happens after. A lot of times I've had some of my greatest aha moments happen when I'm in the shower. Okay, because you're not really engaging in much other than, your routine of getting a shower. The third thing is ask for guidance and take action on the guidance you receive. So if you are new to me here, I am really connected with, the angels, what we call spirit guides, all that stuff. So I often ask, even before I go to bed, I'll say, all right, angels, can you give me a sign in my dream? Can you give me some input, some things? And oftentimes what will happen is I'll have a dream and I'll have numbers in it, and these numbers will come to me, and they'll be off the wall numbers, and I'll remember them. And this is how I receive a good bit of my guidance. And I'll wake up and I will go on a website that is called Joanne Sacred Scribes, and she's an intuitive writer, and she has all the meanings for all of the angel numbers in there. And I'll go on and it will be exactly what I needed to hear, or exactly the message that I was the answer that I needed, or whatever, guidance to what I needed from. I've been doing this for years. So it just keeps getting stronger and stronger, which is really cool. So this is a really cool place to start out. Here's the thing though, we have to take action on that guidance. Okay, we can't just be like, oh, okay, that's great, and move on with our life, or nothing's going to change. Okay, and because the more that you lean in and listen and do as your intuition tells you to do, the stronger your relationship with it gets, and the stronger the pull forward is for you, and all of your just confirming what you need to confirm in your life. So again, ask for guidance. And these things show up in our dreams. They show up everywhere. For me, angel numbers is a really big way for just communication with my higher self, with the universe, all the things. I'll be driving down the road, and if you've been following me for a while, this, and there'll be an 888 on the back of a license plate, like just synchronicities, okay, like stuff like that. This is not an accident. And then the fourth thing would be notice when your initial feeling was correct and keep tabs. So keep in mind of times when you're like, shit, I really should have listened to my first instinct. Or if your gut instinct is saying, no, don't go there, go here. Maybe you're looking for something and it wasn't at the first place, but it was at the initial place that you should have went to. You're like, wow, okay, all right, that was right. Keep tabs on it. And maybe if you want to write it down, or if you're really good at keeping mental notes, that's totally fine too. What this does is this is going to build up that trust within ourselves. Again, we are reaching towards, leaning on a voice that nobody else can hear. No one else can confirm from you. This is all on you. Okay, so this is a really good way to build up that trust whenever you are, starting out. Because otherwise you might fall back to judging yourself, or outsourcing your power. The fifth thing is let go of comparison and judgment about your feelings. Okay, so even if you're having these intuitive feelings and you are starting to lean in, and then you get this crazy idea in it, but it's exciting and 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 it feels right, don't judge yourself for it, okay? Our intuition knows the fastest way to get to where we want to go. Okay, it's not judging us. It's not asking for you to, put up 9,000 red flags and say, well, this isn't going to work because of this. So let go of that comparison. Don't compare your journey to anyone else's. Okay, because just because it took someone else 10 steps to get to the place you're going doesn't mean that it won't take you one or two. Okay, because again, whenever we are listening to our intuition, we're tapped in, tuned in, turned on, and it can take you to your dreams and your goals in the fastest way possible. Okay, so what are the results of hearing, listening, and trusting your intuition? So number one, we start to see symbols or in synchronicities, also known as what people call coincidences. There are no coincidences, guys, okay? These are confirmations. So, for some people, you might even start out by looking for something, say, all right, universe, all right, intuition, give me a sign. Okay, you might just want a sign, because again, we are learning how to hear it. Okay, and this might come in the form of a symbol or whatever. Maybe it's a certain animal, maybe it's a certain number, all the things. Just decide what it is for you, or if it might come to you. Decide what it is for you. I know one of my first ones was a moose. Anytime I would see a moose, it would be like, oh my God. And it would just be like, I would be asking a question, and then I'd be at the store and I'd turn around and there was a moose on something, like the simple things like that. You don't have to, make it complicated. It doesn't have to be a rainbow flower that's, on a picture and all this stuff. Like, you don't have to make it complicated. Just keep it simple and see what happens. Okay. And oftentimes this is the easiest way that your intuition can communicate with yourself, because you have the least resistance to hearing it that way. Okay, when you're driving down the road and you see 3 numbers on the back of a car, say it's like 888 or whatever, you're not going to be like, oh my God, and you're not going to throw a fit and put up a million red flags. You're like, oh, okay, So that's why this is the easiest way when you're starting out to listen to your intuition. This is one of the easiest ways to communicate. Number 2 would be, we have unwavering faith and trust in our choices and inner knowledge. So this is when we stop, questioning, when we stop outsourcing our power, when we stop needing someone else to confirm what we've already decided. And, this is where, you gain so much confidence in your decisions, because you already know that it's the right one, because it feels right on the inside. You are creating from the inside out. You are not creating from the outside in. You're not taking in all the facts, all the things, and then making a decision. Your intuition already gave you a decision. Okay. And it feels aligned to you. So that's why, when you're doing this, some things can seem so off the wall, but in reality, they're not. Number 3 would be, we no longer seek confirmation, it seeks us. So again, this is whenever, we don't need outside confirmation to decide what we've already decided, or to validate what we've already made a decision about. It seeks us. I'll oftentimes, now where I'm at in my journey, I'll decide something, without going out and asking 9,000 other people their opinion, without doing anything. And I'll get confirmation. It'll, be in a form of maybe a number in my dream, or, if someone else will share that exact information with me, to confirm it without me asking. There's many things that happen. And this is not a coincidence. This is synchronicity. This is your intuition talking to you. Number 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I put an extra one in there. Okay. We feel secure. We don't feel like we are worried about our decisions. We're not second guessing ourselves. We feel secure in them. We feel confident in them, and we stand with them. Even if it might not play out exactly how we think right away, we are very confident in our decisions. And then 4, we are driven and motivated by ourselves. So we wake up, we have all the tools we need. We know what we're doing. We know we know exactly what we need to create. And this is exactly how I create in my business now. I don't outsource and look out for, what do I need to say today? What do I need to do? It just comes to me, and it oftentimes aligns with what other people are needing. Okay. Which is the beautiful thing, because I am here to show up and serve, my community in this way. And whenever I don't have to try to run around and figure out, what do I say today? This is how I create so much content, is because it just comes to me. Okay, so whenever we are an open stream of thought and open to hearing and listening, our work, our life becomes so much easier, because again, we're not spending time second guessing ourselves and questioning and seeking out other things. And the last one is, we don't waste time seeking answers out elsewhere. Like I just said, we don't, go out and need to figure out or create a pro-con list and, decide, make lists and then, cross them all out and whatever, and go, take a public survey. We don't have to do any of that. When you're operating from your intuition, it is a completely different way of living. It's going to look illogical and it's going to look unconventional. Okay. And that's okay. That is the point of this. But it is also so much easier to live this way. Okay. Because we don't have to spend time filtering, and backtracking and worrying and all the things. We know things without even looking outside of us. There's an inner force that guides us, and our mama's intuition is strong. So that's when sometimes people jump on the bandwagon with their intuition, is whenever they get, whenever they become a mom and they're like, well, something doesn't feel right here. It's kind of like a sense. And obviously, this is when a lot of people are just so conditioned to also outsource. So they just outsource their mama's intuition to, a higher source, right? A doctor or anything like that. When things that they already know the answers to. And again, this is our mama's intuition. We need to tap into it and turn on and stay turned on to that. Okay. That type of, nurturing is put in us for a reason. Okay. And it's the same way as in our own lives again. But a lot of times whenever we become moms, it just is another trigger to turn it back on. It leads you to your dreams and your goals and the how to do it. We become so confident in our choices and decisions that we never second guess ourselves. We teach our children how to do the same, and we carve our own path. So all of these are so important, and it can be so fulfilling to lead a life this way whenever we are creating and living from the inside out. So this is a testimonial from one of my more recent clients, Haley, and she said, before I started working with Ashley, I doubted my every move, every thought, and criticized myself hard. After working with Ashley for a short period of time, I felt a huge weight lifted off of me. I was able to hear the voice I had been shutting down my entire life, and I am not taking intuitive action on my true dreams. I am now taking intuitive action on my true dreams and goals. I even made the jump to move across the country. Powerful things happen and opportunities open up when we lean in. So if you have loved this and found this helpful, drop a gift below, drop a comment below, drop an emoji below. I want to know what you guys, are wanting more of, and if you're ready to shorten the learning curve and tap into your personal guidance system that has all of the answers on how to achieve your dreams and goals, like many of my other clients, send me a private message and let's see if I can help you. Let's see what you are struggling with and, what kind of help you may need. Okay, guys, I have enjoyed this live stream today. I love doing it earlier in the afternoon. So again, just drop a gift below, drop a comment below, and I will talk to you guys next week. Have a wonderful rest of your day.